Good evening. This evening we are going to be looking at grey literature. This subject is coming up under the Healthcare Management course 612. My name is Oluseyi Olujimi. First, we are going to be looking at the objectives of this presentation. There are five in number. Number one, we are going to be looking at the definition of what great literature is. Next, we look at the types, formats, and providers of great literature. Secondly, we're going to look at the utility, the value, and drawbacks that we can come across in great literature. Then thirdly, we're going to be looking at the value of great literature while researching a topic, homework assignments, or large research projects. Lastly, we are going to be looking at how great literature has been utilized um, for this course, this healthcare management course. Now, next, we want to look at the definition of great literature. What is great literature? First of all, I would like to say that there are materials, studies that are trustworthy, and they provide insight to the subject of investigation. They are produced by organizations outside of the traditional commercial or academic publishing and distribution channels. That is, they are not controlled by commercial publishing organizations or companies. Another definition given, for great literature is by the California State University Long Beach. It describes a great literature as an important source of information, though not scholarly. It is produced by researchers and practitioners in the field. They can often be produced more quickly, have greater flexibility, and be more detailed than other types of literature. Let's look at the types, formats, and providers of great literature. The types of great literature we have are reports, working papers, government documents, white papers, evaluations, theses, students' theses, that is, students' dissertations, especially PhD dissertations, conference proceedings, fact sheets, communiques issued after some important gatherings, technical reports, committee reports, and others. Then, in terms of formats, we have them published and unpublished. We also have them in hard copies and in e-copies, depending on which format is easily accessible to the investigators. Providers of great literature are government establishments, professional bodies or professional associations, and researchers. Where we have mentioned government, for instance, it could be the National Assembly of a country or State Assembly of of a country. These are the providers of great literature. They can also be students, because we have said that student dissertations and theses are also part of great literature. Then we're going to look at the utility, value, and drawbacks of great literature. First of all, their utility. They are trustworthy. They provide insight into subject of investigation. They are good and reliable for research, mainly because of the trusted sources we get them from. They contribute to systematic reviews. They reduce publication bias. What we mean by that is that, by the time a work goes through publication, there's that fear that there's a bias in the publication, but this is ruled out at the level of being a part of a great literature. Then the increased comprehensiveness and timeliness of research contribute to that. And it also fosters a balanced picture of available evidence on a topic or subject. But that is, you rely on several sources, different sources, to make a judgment or to make a report, to do a report. So it is enriched. Then let us look at the drawback. What are the drawbacks? Since they are not controlled by commercial publishing organizations or companies or outfits, they can be difficult to search and retrieve for evidence synthesis. Also, they are not scholarly but produced by those in the relevant fields. And that's the major reason why they are reliable. People see them as trustworthy because they are coming from those who are already in the field, those the practitioners in the field. This document, this work is coming from them, so they kind of reliable for those who want to use them. Also, we're going to look at the value of great literature while researching a topic, homework, assignment, or large research projects. Here we say that great literature is a veritable source for identifying all evidence relevant to a research questions. If you have some research questions, you can look at you can look at it from various angles, and the great literature is there to give you different angles, different ways you can look at that research questions to answer that research question. Then they provide timely evidence or materials needed for research on recent developments in the world. When something happens in the world, within a short time you want to have you want to have a report, want to have evidence, you want to put up something, you want to write something on that thing that has just happened, a new development. I think great literature is a very veritable source for that. And then you can rely on them on evidence or materials which are peer reviewed or published works that have been what I'm trying to say is that they what peer reviewed or published works cannot give you, you can get them from great literature. For instance, now if you want to do a quick study on COVID-19, what has happened between March 2020 and now, you can rely on great literature to get abundance of abundance of evidences of what has happened regarding the pandemic since March 2020. Now, there's a lot that has been written on on international response, various countries' response to the pandemic. There are also various types of various ways people have managed the disease at the individual level, at the country level. There are various things that has been written about it which are effective. Some are effective, some have been declared to be effective and reliable. So you can rely on literature for this. So for to do something on COVID-19 between March 20 and now, the best way to go is to go into the great literature and get what has been written locally and internationally by WHO, by other health related organizations concerning this pandemic. The great literature will be a veritable source, a good source to get variety of papers, variety of pronouncements, decisions, policy statements, regarding the pandemic that can help anybody or a government organizations to make informed decisions on COVID-19. And how have we been able to make use of great literature, during this course? We have made copious use of research and development cooperation. We have, relied on new releases from the organization, commentaries, research studies on healthcare delivery in the US. Then we have also made use of reports from Congressional Budget Office on national health expenditures. Then we have also looked at publications of expenditures on health by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries all over the world. Then we have also been able to make use of policy research perspectives on national health expenditure in the US. Lastly, we have also been able to use reports and publications from Center for Medicare and Medicaid. I want to say generally that these sources have been very useful in understanding the healthcare system in the US. Without these documents, one would have been in the dark and doing our assignments the last 5 weeks has been made easy because most of the times we are given directives to visit, to find this literature to use in preparing an assignment. So the degree literature has been very, very useful in understanding this subject, this course, healthcare management system. And then lastly, on slide, we have a list of references that we used in preparing this presentation. Thank you so much. I hope you have a better understanding of what grey literature is now. Thank you.